every single time. Even on corners, he does it. If you see the ball and it's going over Eric Dyer's head, watch his arms. They're up in the air. So he's like, because he does this to like try and block it from whichever way it's coming. Yeah.
Dude, so I think Alderweireld's been playing alongside him, right, lately?
I believe so. Because Vertonghen's gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Sanchez, I think, fills in sometimes. Because I know Sanchez started against United.
Yeah.
But I think Alderweireld is the preferred. Because then they have Reguilon and Davies on the left, and then they have Doherty and Aurier on the right, who switch in and out.
Have you noticed that players coming out of the Portuguese and the Dutch league in recent years have been the better crop of pickups?
Yeah, it's kind of
you notice that?
Interesting. Yeah, but I mean,
these guys are making less money.
Portugal always has has always had like decent players come out of their league. Like I mean, Ronaldo and Nani obviously come to mind when you think about people who come from Portugal, and then David Luiz came from Portugal. Matic, I think, was at Benfica, then went to Chelsea, then went back to Benfica. I'm not positive on that, though. But
he did, it was on loan.
And then Portugal, like, have a decent league. It's just, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, it's like, I can't really explain. Like, you know the way at the bottom of the table, there's always, like, one or two good players in every team? Like, that you could pick. Like, basically what Liverpool did was they picked up Mane from Southampton when they were near the bottom. They picked up Van Dijk from Southampton when they were at the bottom. That's literally what the Portuguese league is, but it's the entire league. There's one or two good players on every team that you could pick up, put it on your team, and then they're world class. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is the most.
Consistently, though.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, Dortmund came, and I don't know if Jude Bellingham was just a once-in-a-lifetime deal, but they bought him from the second division. Like, none of the top division academies have players good enough to be bought out for $60 million, which is insane because we're all Champions League contenders. Like, we're trying, does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. The thing that is weird about Jude Bellingham, though, is that do you think
Bowen comes out of Championship and tears it up in the Premier League. One of the better players this year.
Because do you think it's because at a younger age they're getting exposed to first-team football? Because, like, Jude Bellingham being 16 years old,
they're fighting for a paycheck. I think that's why players won't stay in Netherlands or Portugal. Why would you leave home unless for greener pastures?
Yeah.
I mean, you see what I mean? Like, obviously, you want to play for Milan over Ajax, obviously, but I don't think that's end all be all. Or else more players would stay at Ajax than they do.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you're not going to win as much in Netherlands as you, like, as prestigious awards as you would in another country. But at the same time, I think that those players, like, that come from the championship or come from other leagues, like, while, it's probably because there probably is the aspect of they are playing for a paycheck. But when it comes to younger players, I think it's because they get to start playing first-team football so early, so they develop 10 times quicker. I mean, look at Sancho. He wasn't getting first-team football at City. And look at Pogba at United. He wasn't getting first-team football at United. Both of them leave, go to Italy and Germany, and they both tear it up. And then Pogba obviously came back for a paycheck, clearly, because of his attitude. Since the day he came to United, he's been like, I'm going to be leaving to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid, which Real Madrid have already said, we don't want you.
I wouldn't go to either right now.
No. And then
I think Italy's the next move.
Dude, if we just did a swap deal for Pogba for Ronaldo, I'd take it. At this point, I really would.
Yeah.
But now Sancho, he's gone to Germany to get first-team playing time, tore it up, and now he's trying to go somewhere to get a paycheck. See what I'm saying? So I do think that, you're trying to go get a paycheck, like build your way up to get that step up to the world-class level, right? Because Bruno Fernandes is only making $100K right now. But which I saw the other day that United are about to give him like an upgraded contract, give him $200K a week, which he deserves, don't get me wrong. But he still has 4 years left on his contract. And so why are you already a year in giving him an upgrade? I'm not saying he deserves it, but financially...
Why didn't you give it to him in the first place?
Well, I would say he technically didn't deserve it in the first place. Now he for sure does, because the numbers that he had in the Portuguese league compared to coming into the Premier League are identical. Like, he's done the exact same numbers. If you watch him for the past 2 years, like his stats from the past 3 years, I think it is the best of any player in the world. And I understand why he definitely deserves it, but if you're a club, like, why did we give Phil Jones a new contract worth $50K more when he hasn't started? He started one game against Tranmere Rovers since he signed the new contract when it was about to expire.
Got a clean sheet.
What are you doing?
Got a clean sheet. It's just insane.
It's stupid stuff like that. But I don't. Chelsea, I've continuously said it, but they're the best run club in the world, without a doubt.
Yeah, just the pool they have to pick from players on loan alone. Like, I mean, if they were to lose their entire 11 right now, they'd still place top 4. Because
bold.
They did it last year.
Like, you mean like they lost?
That entire 11 was not on the minus 1 or 2 was not on the team last year. There's 9 players on the bench and reserves who started almost every game last year and placed higher than the rest of the team, the rest of the league. So what I'm saying is,
But I was just talking about
what I'm saying with the
transfers.
players. I'm saying with the players that they have on loan, bringing them back. That's still a competitive Premier League team. Like, and they've always done it, having like they had De Bruyne and Salah and the rest of them in the academy on loan too, loaning them out. It's just
Lukaku.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Now, holding on to the players is an issue they have, but finding them and developing them.
Yeah. But
like, I mean, if there would have been Gallagher in next year, he'd probably do well. Gilmore did well, and Gilmore played better than a lot of their other center mids last year, and he only got 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah, in the EFL Cup. But I mean, you're not. That's also the thing, is you're not going to start your 18-year-old kid over Kovacic, who's making $200K a week,
and then you lose him to Dortmund, and he's the best player in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. It's super. Like, it's weird to me how
not saying
English.
It's easy to hold on to him either. Like, it's got to be difficult saying like, "Hey, believe me, you'll play sometime, but I need you to go on loan for now." Or, "Hey, you'll get playing time next year, but I need you to not play it all this year." It's got to be difficult. But I mean, if you're the most efficiently run club in the world, you got to be better at holding on to your players, or at least rotating more. I guess that depends on the manager.
Well, technically, the reason why like Salah, De Bruyne, and Lukaku left was because of Mourinho. Technically, he was like, "I don't need them." When I think,
were they that good? I know De Bruyne wasn't really, really, really that good till his second or third year at Wolfsburg.
De Bruyne had before he went to City or Chelsea. I don't think he was in the academy, and I don't think Salah was either. I think they bought the two of them. I know they bought Salah.
De Bruyne came from Bruges.
Yeah,
and it was either Bruges. I think it was Bruges.
So they were solid, like, young players, like prospects. But obviously, again, if you don't play them, they're not going to develop. Yeah. Then they leave to Italy and Germany. Mm-hmm. They play first-team football, develop, and they're 2 of the best players in the world now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, English teams are so bad about developing players.
Keeping developed. Well, is it developing or keeping it? Because I mean,
it's developing. Like, the reason why all those guys are leaving, like that, the reason why Pogba left, the reason why Sancho left, De Bruyne, Salah, the reason why all of them left is because they were not given first-team opportunities to develop. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Whereas when you go to Germany, you look at Dortmund, or you look at Schalke, or you look at...
They can afford to because they're not playing anybody. I mean, like, you can put whoever you want to up against like FC Berlin.
Yeah.
You know, that's a wrap. You can put Bellingham and Reina in the entire second team.
That's why a bunch of U.S. kids are over in Germany now developing.
France too, yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, it's going to be... It's a weird thing to think about. And then... the last thing I want to say was Harry Kane is the dirtiest player I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy Fernandinho did that shit, too.
Yeah, and that was last year in the Champions League, I think, or two. No, I don't think it was Champions League. Maybe it was. I can't remember. I know it was a 2-legged game. Oh, yeah, it was, because that's when Aguero missed that penalty. And I think that was like one of the first games in Spurs' new stadium. But, yeah, I didn't notice it until I watched the game last weekend against Arsenal, but someone went up to head the ball, and Kane like backs into him, and he falls and like kind of like lands very awkwardly, and if he had kind of twisted a little bit more, he was landing straight on his head and his neck was popping, right?
Yeah.
And then someone posted that, I was like, this is dirty. And then I looked at the thread on Twitter, and there was like 20 other people who were posting all these different times that he's done that. And someone was like, the FA really needs to say something to Harry Kane because he will severely hurt someone one day. And I kind of agree with them. Like, and people like Spurs fans are defending him, saying like, well, it's in the rules of the game. It's like, no, it's not. It's a foul. That's why he gets called a foul every single time.
He gets called on him.
So it's half and half. Sometimes it gets called on him, sometimes it doesn't. But if you watch, if someone jumps up in the vicinity of Harry Kane,
yeah, he goes like that.
He pushes his back over, and then he backs into him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks like that they're jumping on top of him. Because when they're coming down, they're trying to stop themselves from falling on top of him.
Yeah.
So they're putting their hands on his back, and then he falls, and then the way that he's falling into them, they flip out because they have no control once they're in the air.
I say when they get 3 golden boots in a row, they can tell him how to play football. But,
I mean, yeah, I agree. But
no,
I just think it's so dirty, man.
Oh,
like,
it's filthy,
so shit. That's like I used to think Fernandinho. Well, I do think Fernandinho was a really, really dirty player, but
maybe I'm old fashioned, but I wouldn't take it up to the higher ups. I would just
kick him on the field.
Yeah, just beat the shit out of him. Yeah, do it to him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean.
That's why, that's why. Like,
let him know that you don't like that shit.
Yeah, when that first happened, when Fernandinho did that, I was like, "Damn, Fernandinho's so dirty." And I was like talking to my Manchester City friend, and I was like, "Dude, like, could you really think that that's good?" He's like, "Yeah." And then this is like when that happened. He's like, "Yeah, but Kane backed into him," and I was like, "No, he didn't." And then after I texted him afterwards, I was like, "You know what? After 2 years later, you were completely right. Kane backed into him and completely deserved getting his face shoved into the ground."
Yeah,
Fernandinho. So
that's filthy.
So if you're watching Premier League and you see Harry Kane and someone jumps up around him, watch what he does. He bends over and backs into them, so then they flip out, and someone will break their neck one day.
It's a good move though. Until then.
Yeah.